Hey everybody, this is AYG's Alpha Team, here with another video for the Division. This is going to be the video for my Nomad build for 1.6. It's actually 1.6.1 as of today, or yesterday. You notice some of those changes, but we're going to go over this right now. Now it's a 4-part Nomad with a 1-part high-end and a 1-part exotic. This build is mainly built around toughness. We'll go over everything in a second, but just so you can take a look. Running that one high end. And there is one compromise I had to make with the build, which I'll also go over. But let's start right here with the Barrett's Bulletproof chest piece. Roll for stamina, health on kill, and health. Now because of the Nomad build, we're going to be rolling for health on kill any chance we get. Also, all of our mods are going to be firearms health mods. And you could opt to go with something like Vigorous, but I feel like you get a little bit more out of the Barrett's Bulletproof chest piece with the weapon damage we'll be doing. Next up is the mask. Rolled for firearms, health and kill, burn resistance. This is an ideal roll for this setup. Good firearms, good armor. And before I forget, let's go over the Nomad. 2-piece Nomad is 15% health on kill, which is awesome. 3-part Nomad grants a consistent small amount of healing, allowing the user to regenerate all segments of health during combat. And then, of course, the 4-part, when receiving fatal damage, you are instantly healed to full health. It can occur every 4 minutes. That will be coming in handy. We'll go over all those in the gameplay. But like I said, right here, we're going for firearms health with all of our mods. Next up is the knee pads. Good roll for armor on this one. Rolled for stamina and health. We got burn, bleed, and disorient. I really wish that disorient was shock, but we're gonna just go with what we got. And we could go with another firearms, but with the build that we're working on, we're gonna definitely go with the stamina. Now this is the backpack of the Nomad. This is where I had to make the compromise. I've got about 30 Nomad backpacks in the past month, and none of them were rolled for health. Now I wanted one rolled for health so I could roll out the electronics for something like stamina or firearms, but I never got it. So I had to make a compromise and go with skill power and stamina. Now I did the math, and running skill power stamina rather than electronics and health is actually a little bit beneficial for the toughness, so that's why we're going with this. And before I forget, our performance mods are all going to be pulse critical hit chance. We're going to be taking full advantage of all the crit chance we can get. Next up is our Savage Gloves. Again, the more crit chance we have, the better. Roll for stamina. This is SMG, skill haste, and health on kill. The skill haste, you should really try and get crit chance or crit damage. Crit damage probably preferably. I did try and roll these other Savage Gloves, but since we're trying to get that health on kill, that's why we're rolling with the other ones, the 963, these right here. And that health on kill is going to play a big part, and you'll see in the video too. Holster, of course you want 12s across the board. You got a pretty decent roll here. Major attribute for health. That's probably going to be your best option because, like I said, we're trying to go for toughness. And we got our toughness above 400. It could be a little bit better, but like I said, we had to make a compromise with that backpack. All right, weapons. We're going with the PP19. Now, I get a lot of comments about how no one's really a fan of the PP19, but I am. And because we have this longevity of health, we're going to be having a longevity of bullets with this PP19. I did get a couple shots with the Navy MP5, also with Hurried. But we're going to go primarily with PP19 because it is just a good weapon, especially if you're in the fight for a long time. Good against single targets, good against multiple targets, rolled with unforgiving, responsive, hurried. Just an all-around good weapon. If you do try it, don't let anyone knock you on it. It is a great weapon. All rolled for crit chance, crit damage. And I did make the switch to the tactical ACR. Now, if you're playing on console like I am, the ACR is a much more stable weapon than something like the LVOAC or the lightweight M4. So for console play, it is a great option. Going with sustained, unforgiving, and responsive. Sustained again for that health on kill. Now this one we rolled for straight stability because we need to get more out of these assault rifles on console. So that's why we're trying to get as much stability as we can, and it does eventually pay off. As you'll see in the video, I got a couple of good shots of using the tactical ACR. Great weapon, still has good damage output. Very good compromise if you are on console to the LVOAC. Now again, like I said, we did use some Navy MP5 in the video, but mostly the PP19. Also with sustained. And again, the hurried is the game changer on this gun, on the PP19. Always get hurried if you can. It keeps you in the fight a lot longer. Alright, on to skills. We're using Pulse with the Scrambler. Gives us the most critical hit chance, and that's what we want to utilize. Good crit damage as well. And because our skill powers are so low, we're not going to get too much out of our skills. So the cooldown is a little bit high, but it doesn't really matter because like I said, we're not relying on our skills that much. Next up, we have the defibrillator. Now, you could go with another option. Anything else is going to work here. I'm doing this because I'm trying to keep myself more of a team player. That's why I'm not using overdose. Get those revives when you can, when you're playing in Last Stand. And we're not relying on the self-heal. That's why we're not going with the overdose. And again, of course, recovery link to get that extra, pretty much just an extra life on top of the Nomad. You essentially have 3 lives. It's pretty awesome. Talents, we're going to critical save. Use medkit during low health to increase damage resistance for 20 seconds. Combat medic to help out our allies and ourselves whenever we're in the fight. Now I am using shrapnel, and most of the video was shot before 1.6.1. Because with the higher firearms, you do tend to get more bleed just on bullet impact. So bleed is just a good option. It does slow down your opponent and disorient them slightly. You could go with something like adrenaline, triage, but we're going with shrapnel. It does work. People are always saying like, hey, it's broken, you really shouldn't use it. But you know what? It works well enough for bullet fire. So that's what we're going to go with. You could use something like steady hands if you want to get a little bit more stability. I'm using on the move. Kill a hostile while moving to reduce incoming damage by 15% for 10 seconds. Super effective. One is done is also good if you want to conserve bullets and getting those headshots. A little bit less effective on console. Tactical advance is also good, but I'm going with on the move. Now let's go over to the character stats. 5,200 firearms. Stamina's at 7,000. Electronics is 28, a little low, but like I said, we're not relying on it. Critical chance with the PP19 is 40.5%. Crit damage is a little low, but we respect all the way into crit chance because we want to get those crits as much as possible. Headshot damage is fine. Reload time is irrelevant because we're using hurried, and it'll most likely always be at 1 second, which is awesome. Like I said, it keeps you in the fight a little bit longer. And with this longevity of life, that's what we want to do. SMG bonus damage from our gloves. 28% health on kill with the PP19. Now this is going to be some of our bread and butter during our gameplay, you'll see. Also with the tactical ACR, since we have sustained, we get 34% health on kill. Now that's a third of your life. One of those blocks of life that you have out of the 3 is going to be filled every time you get a kill. We get that 8% skill power, which is not really relevant. We would have liked to roll something better for those gloves, but that's just what we got. Armor's above 32%. Toughness is good. This whole build is built around longevity, staying alive as long as possible. That's why we're going with that high toughness. That's why we're speccing with crit chance. And that's why we want to get as much stamina and health and kill from everything. And this PP19 will keep us in the fight with the hurried and the extended mag. You're going to be shooting all the time. And there are a few tips to go over. Tip number 1 when using the Nomad, trust that your Nomad will proc. I was seeing these fights, multiple targets, I don't stop shooting, take a guy down, Nomad procs, still in the fight, still shooting with that PP19. I did a reload just there. So fast, I barely even noticed it. Keeps you shooting all the time. Keeps the enemies on their toes. Get those kills. Again, right here, I know I have the Nomad, I know it's going to proc, but he doesn't know that, so he's putting everything he can into getting me down. Avoid the fire as much as possible. Get him to commit. Some fire right here. Procs it. I'm still shooting. He has to reload. Perfect time. Same here. This guy tries to get ahead of me. He does a good job. And even when he gets low, he has to reload. I'm still shooting. He procs it, takes a swing at me because he thought I was going down. Realized I wasn't. He goes down. Again, right here, committing to the fire, always shooting, never have to stop. Most people you come across will have to reload or heal themselves. You can just keep shooting. Again, right here. Even with the fight, he has to stop shooting. I don't. Procs it. I'm still shooting. He goes down. The next tip is going to be you get health on kills. So you got to remember that every time you take someone down, you're going to be getting your health back. So committing to firing and committing to just getting him down, worrying a little less about how you're going to end up and more how you're just going to get him down first. See right here, I don't pop another med pack. I can't pop another med pack. I have to commit to the kill. Bam. Third of my life back instantly. Same here. Both committed to firing. He goes down. Life comes back. And with that 3-part, you start regenning immediately as well. To get those to get that rest of life back. Again, just good use of that health on kill. Next up, last tip, utilize those criticals. You spec into criticals for a reason. Now take a look at these next few videos, you'll be able to see how many of the shots are written in yellow because they're criticals. Taking full advantage, we're at the max. The cap is 50% while you're in last stand. We're getting all the way there. We want to make sure we're getting all these criticals. Again here, you can see most every shot, with the exception of a few, is a critical. And those crits based on the in comparison to the regular, they are a significant difference. You will notice a huge difference in firepower. Now remember, we're rolling 1500, which is a decent sized firepower, but it's nothing like, 7,000, 8,000. And still we're doing 10,000 damage versus other roads. In this particular case, we're doing 5,000 because we're using these. But again, just utilizing those criticals. I'll let the rest of these play out. See you guys at the end. That's going to do it, guys. Again, toughness Nomad build, super legit. You're in the fight constantly. With a weapon like the PP-19, you're always firing. You will get the jump on most people. You very seldom will you lose a one-on-one. It's a great all-around build. So go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more from RUGamer.com. Also, leave us a comment if you want to if you have any questions or you want to give us any feedback. Until then, go ahead. Game on.
Game on! Yeah, game on!